So they all can have peace and love and happiness. Peace, love, happiness.
Amen. Amen.
Peace, love,
Happiness. Peace.
You guys are breaking my heart. This is peace, love, and happiness. Peace. We are at peace with protest. We are at peace with protest.
Hold the line!
Here comes the horses. They have the horses coming.
All right, guys, so things in Canada seem to be taking a turn for the worse when it comes to the freedom protests, the Freedom Convoy, Freedom Truckers. As it seems like now that there are clashes between these peaceful protesters and the police, right? And up until this point, you know, there hasn't really been too much of that, okay? For the most part, things have been overall like, you know, hey, the protesters just protest. The police are just there, but it hasn't necessarily been confrontational or violent. And that all seemed to change within the last 48 hours drastically, as now you have police arresting over 20 Canada truck protest leaders and towing trucks in a bid to end the blockade, right? So now it seems that Trudeau and the Canadian government and the Ottawa government, the people that are running things there, it seems like they've had enough, okay? And they're now saying, you know what, we're now going to use our police powers, right, to start arresting people and, you know, getting them off the streets to end this blockade. So at this point, even though this guy claimed that they're not going to use military force, it seems to be a slow escalation, right? Again, we all remember that he enacted his emergency powers that basically allowed him to financially declare war on the Freedom Truckers and people that are donating to them, that are supporting them financially. Now he's turned law enforcement against them, okay? There was some controversy, right, from some of these police officers who was on horseback, as there is a video circulating online that, again, is very, like, disturbing to watch, okay, of one of these units, right, these police units in which, you know, police were on horses, basically just ramming through a crowd of people, okay? And as they're doing that, one of the protesters gets trampled. Now, it looked like from the video, and obviously I can't show you guys video because it's, you know, too graphic. It looked like in the video that one of the horses, like, literally may have stepped directly on one of the protesters' face. And this protester was a woman. So a 1,000-pound animal, right, trampled a woman, okay? That's what it looked like. Now, you know, I'm not sure if this woman is alive. There's rumors that she may have died at the hospital. I'm not entirely sure about that. But either way, I mean, this is a clear-cut case of police brutality, in my opinion, and nobody's really saying anything about it. You're not hearing anything from the left and the Crusaders, who basically set the world on fire over police brutality. But let's read more here. Police officers on horseback allegedly plowed through a crowd of Canadian protesters known as the Freedom Convoy as they continued to protest the government's COVID-19 restrictions and vaccine mandates in Ottawa. A video posted to Twitter appeared to show Ottawa police officers making their way through a crowd and trampling over two people with their horses. As the horses step on the individuals, the crowd quickly surrounds them for help. So here's the video. Obviously, again, I can't show it because how graphic it is. The videographer can be heard saying, "They just trampled that lady. They just trampled that lady." Officers on foot in protective gear and carrying batons then appeared to push the crowd back. In the video, members of the crowd began to push against the officers as they ordered demonstrators to leave the area immediately, threatening arrest. Quote, "The protesters continued their assaultive behavior with the police line to prevent an escalation or injury. Mounted officers were sent in to create critical space between the police line and protesters," the Ottawa police wrote on Twitter. So the police here are playing victim, right? They're trying to say, oh, well, these people were violent. Okay, they were assaulting police. Okay, when, you know, for the most part, from what I'm saying, I'm not saying there were no individual acts. Okay, but overwhelmingly, most of these people are peaceful. Okay, So again, I don't know why the police here are trying to play victim. Authorities claim that a bicycle was thrown at the feet of one of the horses in an attempt to injure it. One person was arrested for allegedly intentionally harming a police service animal. Newsweek reached out to the Iowa Police Department for a comment on the situation. A spokesperson said no protesters were trampled. Quote, "We are not aware of any protesters being trampled by horses," the spokesperson told Newsweek. "We understand that one protester fell, got up, and walked away." Yeah, so there's, again, a video of a woman being trampled, clearly out there on social media. I'm pretty sure millions of people have seen this video, and Idaho police are like, nothing to see here, right? Not even acknowledging that's what happened, okay? Kind of blows your mind, right? By Friday evening, more than 100 protesters had been arrested, and over 24 vehicles had been towed, authorities said. Officers continued to push protesters away from downtown area and said they created a secure area where unlawful protest is temporarily prohibited. Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau took to Twitter following the incident and said that protesters and their illegal blockades have disrupted the community for 3 weeks now. He said he intends to bring public order and protect Canadian citizens. So, yeah, as you can see there, guys, that is a clear-cut case, in my opinion, of police brutality. And for whatever reason, all of a sudden, the left, they don't particularly seem to care, right? Again, these are the people that claim they're on the right side of history, okay? And throughout these freedom protests, guys, I think that who they really are has actually been revealed to us, right? That they simply really don't care about the things they claim they care about, you know? For example, they don't really support peaceful protests, okay? I mean, we knew that during the Summer of Love when they were supporting riots and looting across the country, right, in the U.S., but here you have a overwhelmingly peaceful protest, like a truly overwhelming peaceful protest. And they've essentially demonized these people as terrorists, right? To the point where people have been doxxed. Business owners has been doxxed. People's lives have been ruined. People probably lost their jobs, et cetera, simply for just supporting the peaceful protest, okay? So they don't support peaceful protests. They don't care about people being doxxed, right? And having their lives ruined, okay? And they don't care about police brutality. Because, again, the world was set on fire because a man died after a police officer kneeled on his neck in America, okay? And everybody thought that imagery was so tragic, okay, that regardless of why George Floyd was in that situation, regardless of the situation, nobody really cares about that. What people cared about was the imagery. The imagery is so bad of a police officer doing something like that to a civilian that, again, the world protested over this. However, you have a woman get trampled, what looks like a 1,000-pound animal trampling a woman, right? A police officer trampling a woman, and you're not going to hear about it, right? Nobody's going to say anything about it. There's not going to be any protest or any say her name or any questions about, hey, is this police brutality? Like, is this right? Right? But hey, when a white police officer in America arrests a black kid that was in a fight with a white kid, okay, in a mall, that's front page news for CNN, right? That there's a discussion about police misconduct, right? That there's a full-blown discussion about it. I actually have a more apples to apples comparison, guys. Y'all remember last year where the Border Patrol agents on horseback were accused of whipping the Haitians at the border, right? And the mainstream liberal media and Democrat Party got so up in arms. Oh my God, the Border Patrol is whipping black people at the border. This is slavery. This is Jim Crow, right? This is lynching. Okay, y'all remember all that? We come to find out that the Border Patrol agents actually weren't whipping the Haitians, right? Those pictures that were shown was just Border Patrol using their reins to steer their horses, okay? But again, the left-wing liberal media, the race crusaders, the so-called civil rights activists was out here protesting, okay, over this, right? Al Sharpton giving speeches. They had like it was the worst thing ever. So now you have an actual act of police brutality with a horse, okay? With a horse stomping on a woman, looked like it stomped her in the face. Crickets, nothing. Ain't got nothing to say. But I thought that police brutality with horses was so bad, right? I thought it was so bad. Apparently not. Not when it's protests that the left don't agree with, right? Which again shows you what the left is about. It's simply about not the principles. However, it's just about do they agree with it or they don't agree with it. If they agree with it, then hey, You know, it's fine. Okay, if they don't agree with it, then fair game, right? Anything can happen to you. They don't care about police brutality. They don't care if you're peacefully protesting. They don't care if you get doxxed. They don't care about any of that stuff. And it's funny because the right is not like that, at least not as much. Because again, when you think about the whole George Floyd situation, there are people on the right, there are conservatives that was like, no, that was police brutality, right? That was wrong, okay? You know, Derek Chauvin deserved to be punished for that. There were plenty of conservatives that felt that way. Okay, regardless of, you know, whether or not they back the blue, regardless of, you know, their political ideology, it was like, no, what's wrong is wrong. Okay? And it's funny because conservatives are willing to do that. The left, however, they're just unwilling to do that. They're unwilling to call out wrong when it's wrong. Even though they set the world on fire over police brutality. Even though they set the world on fire over your right to peacefully protest. Now, police brutality is okay, and you don't have a right to peacefully protest. Now you have a clear-cut example of it right in front of your face happening in Canada, right, across the border, just north of the border, and they don't really care, right? There's some people out there that say that, hey, she probably deserved it. That's what they'll say, okay? Again, it's just a shame and it's sad, right? But I'm also not surprised to see the left reveal themselves for who they really are, right? And it's very simple. They don't care about any of the things they claim they care about. They simply just care about power and control. And they will use any means necessary in order to get power and control. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.